There's a strange comfort in being the person nobody quite gets. You say something, and they hear it wrong. You do something, and they interpret it differently. And somewhere deep inside, beneath the part of you that's supposed to feel frustrated or lonely, there's this quiet satisfaction, almost like a smile you don't show anyone. You could explain yourself. You could clarify. You could make them understand exactly who you are and what you meant. But you don't. Because part of you doesn't want to. Part of you likes the distance, the mystery, the space between who you are and who they think you are. And if you've ever felt this, if you've ever secretly enjoyed being misunderstood, you're not alone. And you're not as strange as you think. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. For some people, being misunderstood is a form of protection. Think about it. If people truly understood you, they would see everything. Your fears, your contradictions, the parts of yourself you haven't figured out yet, the parts you're not proud of. Being misunderstood creates a buffer, a safe distance between your real self and the world. Psychologists call this defensive ambiguity. You stay vague not because you're confused, but because clarity feels like exposure. And exposure feels dangerous. When someone misunderstands you, they're responding to a version of you that isn't quite real, which means the real you stays hidden, protected, untouched by their judgment. It's not that you're lying, you're just letting them fill in the blanks with their own assumptions. And as long as they're looking at the wrong picture, they can't criticize the real one. But there's another layer, one that's harder to admit. Some people enjoy being misunderstood because it confirms something they already believe about themselves. That they're different. That they're deeper than others can comprehend. That they exist on a frequency most people can't hear. Psychologists call this the divergence identity. It's the psychological comfort of being an outsider. Not the painful kind of outsider, the lonely kind, but the chosen kind. The kind that feels special. When people don't understand you, it reinforces the narrative that you're not like everyone else, that you see things others miss, that you operate on a level they can't reach. And there's a strange pride in that, a quiet superiority that doesn't need to announce itself because the misunderstanding does it for you. You don't have to say you're different. Their confusion says it for you. Then there's the third reason, and this one might be the most honest. Being misunderstood means you get to keep parts of yourself private. In a world where everyone performs their entire identity online, where authenticity has become a brand and vulnerability a content strategy, there's something rebellious about staying unknowable, about refusing to be fully seen. Think about it. Every time someone misunderstands you, you're reminded that you still have something they can't access. Something that's still yours, not monetized, not hashtagged, not explainable in a single post. Studies in psychology show that people with high need for privacy often cultivate a certain level of ambiguity in how they present themselves. Not because they're hiding something terrible, but because they value the sanctuary of their inner world. Being misunderstood isn't a bug. It's a feature. It's how you keep the noise out and the sacred in. And here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes being misunderstood is actually a filter, a test. You watch how people react when they don't fully get you. Some people get frustrated. They demand explanations. They need you to fit into a box they already understand. Those are the people who can't handle complexity, who can't sit with ambiguity. But then there are the others, the ones who stay curious instead of judgmental, who ask questions instead of making assumptions, who are comfortable not fully understanding you right away. Those are your people, the ones worth letting in. Being misunderstood becomes a way of sorting. The ones who leave because you're too complicated weren't meant to stay. The ones who lean in closer, who want to understand even when it's hard, those are the ones who see misunderstanding not as a wall, but as an invitation. But let's not pretend this doesn't come with consequences, because it does. The cost of enjoying being misunderstood is loneliness. Not the dramatic kind, not the kind you complain about, but the quiet kind. The kind where you're surrounded by people and still feel like nobody truly knows you. And the dangerous part is that you chose it. You built the walls. You cultivated the mystery, and now you're on the other side wondering why nobody's trying harder to climb over. Here's the thing. You can't have it both ways. You can't enjoy the safety of being misunderstood and also expect deep connection. Because real connection requires being understood. It requires letting someone see you clearly, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it means they might not like what they see. So where does that leave you? If you're someone who secretly enjoys being misunderstood, first, own it. Stop pretending you want people to get you when part of you doesn't. There's no shame in valuing your privacy, in protecting your inner world, in staying a little bit unknown. But second, be honest about what you're trading. Mystery for connection. Safety for intimacy. The comfort of being unknowable for the risk of being truly seen. And third, ask yourself this. Are you being misunderstood because people aren't trying, or because you're not letting them? Because there's a difference between people who can't understand you and people you won't let close enough to try. Being misunderstood isn't a flaw. It's not something that needs fixing. But it's also not neutral. It's a choice, a strategy, a way of moving through the world that keeps you safe and separate in equal measure. And only you can decide if that's the life you actually want, or if maybe, just maybe, the real risk isn't being misunderstood. It's being understood completely and discovering that connection was worth the vulnerability all along. If this made you think differently about why you do what you do, subscribe to The Unspoken Self. We explore the psychology that lives in the shadows, the patterns you recognize but never named. And if you want to go deeper, join our community in the link below. A space where being complex isn't a problem, it's the whole point.